Breakfast. We're into week 4 of the month and talking about things related to nutrition. And over the next 5 days, I'm going to cover what we might break down as being the 5 different ways or times that we eat. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and drinks. And breakfast, from my experience, is an often overrated meal, shall we say. Now, it doesn't mean that there isn't value to be had in having a good breakfast, but many of you will have heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That you should eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, tea like a pauper. That it stokes your metabolism and turns you into a fat burning machine for the rest of the day. And I don't know what any of that actually means, because ultimately our progress to our results will be dictated by the overall total or average of what we consume. If we're looking to lose weight, which the majority of people in here are, then ultimately we need to be in a calorie deficit. Now, I know there's more to healthy eating, and there might be other considerations we put into our eating, but that doesn't mean that the calorie deficit doesn't need to be there for weight loss. And the research shows that how that calorie deficit is spread out over the course of a day or even a week doesn't make any difference. So whatever we have for breakfast is irrelevant as long as the total takes us in the right direction. If we're having breakfast but eating in a calorie surplus, we'll gain weight. If we're not having breakfast and eating the calorie deficit, we will lose weight. So from my experience, it's the breakfast that works best for you to enable you to create an average across the course of the day and the week. There is research that shows that if you take people that have never had breakfast, as in something at home, a set meal first thing in the morning, because they don't like it, they can't stomach it, they don't feel up to it, and you force them to have a certain amount of calories at breakfast time, and then self-regulate the rest of their intake for the day, they do, on average, reduce their calorie intake for the rest of the day compared to previously, but by less than the increase that breakfast added in. So overall, they end up consuming more. Now, that isn't automatically a problem. If having a good breakfast and feeling well means that we're more active, we're more likely to exercise and what have you, then that may lead to the average deficit. But again, it's up to that individual person. If you feel forcing yourself to have breakfast is going to make you eat more overall, don't do it. I like a large breakfast because I feel good for the rest of the day. It's not stoking my metabolism, I just feel good. I feel more energetic, more switched on. I'm way more likely to be active, I'm way more likely to put more into my workout. It works for me. And then a second point about breakfast is don't feel limited by what Western society tells us breakfast is. It's either a fry-up, like behind me, or it's some sort of grain-based product. It's toast, it's pain au chocolat, it's some bready thing, it's cereal, porridge, etc. And they are all potentially valid breakfasts, but breakfast can just be any food we choose to eat. My breakfast is what most people consider to be an evening meal. Sometimes it is the leftovers from last night's evening meal. And that might not work for a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't feel they could stomach that kind of food first thing in the morning, but it's just an example to show you that anything you like for breakfast, as long as it's helping you create that average and total across the day and the week, is probably what's right for you.